Computer viruses, trojans, email worms, spyware, adware, ransomware, WarioWare. There are quite a few types of malware out there, and man, do I love them. Not the programs that'll steal all of your family photos, lock down your computer, and then force you to pay 15 grand worth of Bupcoin. That type of computer virus is bad. I'm talking about the ones that do something cool to your computer. The ones that are absolutely ridiculous. The ones that turn all of your files into a block of cheese. Those are the three biggest categories after all. But in the grand scheme of interesting malware or viruses or whatever, not too many of them gain significant popularity. Of course, there's the rare cases of real damaging programs that get solid notoriety. BonziBuddy, which was a desktop helper who was secretly spyware and who is not secretly my best friend. And then there was the Jigsaw ransomware, using Billy the Puppet from Saw to scare and rush the victim into paying quickly. But overall, a lot of the wacky, goofy malware out there was made with the intention of being wacky, followed by goofy. Windows XP Horror Edition, You Are an Idiot, Ransomware, No Escape, Mrs. Major, goddamn Pac-Man smoking crack. What I'm saying is that these pieces of malware made for entertainment are the ones that get a lot of attention. Okay, maybe not the Pac-Man one, that one hasn't made it big just yet. But in my humble opinion, there's one virus that ranks above them all. A program that is not only bizarre, but managed to gain a cult following. We're talking millions of views on YouTube, tons of people talking about it, its own Wikipedia page. And that software is none other than the MEMZ virus. God, I sounded lame saying that. If you frequented the internet in the mid-2010s, there's a decent chance that you actually came across this program. People were making reaction videos, reacting to said reaction videos, and even testing the MEMZ Trojan themselves. Now, if only there were a word for a computer program that was not only dangerous, but spread fast. That shit was absolutely burgeoning! MEMZ is a computer virus created in 2016 by Lurak. You may have heard their name before, as they've made a ton of goofy viruses over the years. First there was MEMZ, and then its counterpart Vine Memes. Then there was SmileLocker, which was a ransomware that requires your Twitch chat to spam the smile emote, or else you lose everything. Bonzify, a virus that turns everything into, well, BonziBuddy. The Y virus, which glitches your computer to hell and back, and then forces you to play a DOS version of Desert Bus for 8 hours. And lastly, my personal favorite, Tim Allen's sexy strip poker. It turns everything into this one image of Tim Allen. There is genuinely nothing funnier than being jump scared by an evil Tim Allen and then getting a blue screen. First Home Improvement on Super Nintendo and now this? You sick bastard. As you could probably tell, Lurak has made a ton of joke programs, and MEMZ is no exception. You could probably tell. MEMZ is considered a Trojan by many, meaning it's a program that secretly is a virus and only reveals itself after you run it. I'm not exactly sure how this is supposed to be pretending not to be a virus, but hey, to each their own. The program first gained notoriety through YouTuber DanoOct1's YouTube channel. It was created for his series called Viewer Made Malware, where viewers would submit their own malware for him to cover.
Ooh, Club Penguin. Time to get banned.
This is how we got such incredible programs like PC Toaster. It definitely lives up to the name, I could tell you that much. But it wasn't until later in 2016 when it really blew up in popularity. Very similarly to another virus I've talked about, BonziBuddy, it was the streamer Varg Skeletor covering it that aided in bringing it to a new audience. I swear I'm not trying to glaze Joel every time I make a video talking about malware. He just happens to be tied to like every computer virus out there. Dad has ransomware on his work laptop. Let's be real, it was probably this dude's fault. There are hundreds of videos on YouTube of people testing this virus out for themselves, whether in a controlled environment like with a virtual machine or on their school computer, because God forbid the underpaid middle school teacher's life be easy. But enough dilly-dallying, you want to see what this program can do, and before we get into that, just a small little disclaimer. Please do not run this on your actual computer. I'm not going to be linking to this virus for very obvious reasons, on top of the fact that I don't think YouTube likes when you do that. But please, if you do find this program, run it in a virtual machine. And if you don't know what you're doing, don't touch it at all. Just watch me run it instead. Because this virus will do irreversible damage to your computer and you lose everything. If your mom has to go and do her taxes and then you tell her, oh, Toadpup talked about this funny virus and I ran it on our computer. How's that gonna look on me? Your mom would be pissed. With all that being said, what exactly does the MEMZ Trojan do? So first off, I had to source this virus not from the original creator, but from a re-uploader's GitHub page. It's still the same thing, but unfortunately, the creator did not bless me with a beautiful, pristine, untouched copy. You'll first be given a warning, which is pretty nice. It gives you one last out before 2016 hilarity ensues. Also, a healthy reminder not to run this on your real computer, because, as it's bluntly put by the program, your computer has been f***ed by the MEMZ Trojan. Your computer won't boot up again, so use it as long as you can. MEMZ acts in payloads, or sections of the virus that'll operate in a certain order. The first payload is that multiple programs will begin to open. It could just be random things like your command prompt, devices, or even your calculator. Thank God for that. I can't go a single minute without solving a vast equation. But the big thing it opens are Google searches. And of course you'll get all sorts of wacky funny searches like how to buy weed and softtonic.com. You have to remember this was made almost a decade ago. Obviously it's not going to be the same internet humor as today. I do really like that it'll look up things pertaining to viruses in general. I did eventually shut off my internet though, because this virus started looking things up like best way to take your own life. I can't lie, I don't know how easy it'll be to explain to the cops. Oh no, it was a funny meme virus that looked that up, not me. That's just the simple stuff though, because then the visuals start to kick in, and by God do they kick in. At this point, I'm gonna have to issue a flashing lights warning. You can skip to this timestamp right here if you want to avoid all of that. And yes, I know, I give a flashing lights warning in like every video I do. But goddamn, call me a moth because I love those big beautiful lights. I can't seem to resist them. Windows error noises begin to play as Doomsday slowly rolls in. Your screen begins to invert its colors every few seconds or so, but not perfectly. It's all blotchy and sometimes doesn't do it in certain areas, but I mean, that kind of gives more validity to the whole glitchy aesthetic. Your mouse gains a Rocket League trail of error signs as that starts to freak out as well. The screen also starts to break off in chunks and blocks, slowly tunneling in on itself, and the cherry on top of it all, the program asks if you're still using this PC. Oh, you bet your ass I am. There's no way in hell you'll stop me from playing Line Rider 2. And yes, dear viewers, I did manage a single successful jump. Very impressive if I do say so myself. But not as impressive as the fact that I shower. I know, you didn't think it was possible. But how did I pull it off, you ask? With Cheeky soap, of course. That's right, as of today, I am officially partnered with Cheeky to help you bring bars of soap that'll leave you feeling hydrated and have you feeling like you've got skin. I feel like that's important. You can now use my world famous code TOADBUP for 10% off of your order at usecheeky.com/TOADBUP or with the link down below. I really recommend you get the Touch Grass bar with 100% honesty and sincerity. That bar smells really good. Now, I know jack shit about viruses, but I'm fairly certain all of these visual glitches and whatnot are on some sort of fake screen. It'd be like, here's the real desktop that's still functioning fine, and then here's the overlay that makes it look like you downloaded Rainbow Six Siege. I only say this because I tried to run Freddy.exe, and for some reason, the game was completely unaffected. It was one of the only files on my virtual machine, I swear.
Yeah.
Regardless, after some time passes, these payloads just get worse and worse. It gets to a point where you just straight up can't use your PC anymore. It's nearly impossible to see what's going on, and there's only one solution: restart the computer. I mean, you can try to use your PC, but this is no way to check your silver points on my Nintendo. Eventually, you just have to shut the whole thing off to end the chaos and hope for the best. It should have been him. After your computer resets, you're left with nothing but this Nyan cat animation, as your boot sector's been completely overwritten. Also, apparently it plays music too, but it didn't do that for me. Now, you might be thinking, is there a way to get rid of this before all of the chaos happens? I mean, I'm sure there is, but just not to a bumbling buffoon like me. If you try to close anything with Task Manager like you may automatically go to do, your screen freaks out with error boxes and just kills the computer then and there. Oh god, you can really tell the age of this virus. Outdatedness aside, the Splitgate devs would love this shit. The MEMZ virus is a very colorful, very destructive, very slightly outdated piece of software. Compared to Lurak's later work and even the variation of this virus, Vine Memes, it's really nothing crazy. But in the grand scheme of viruses themselves, this is pretty sick. This is what you thought would happen as a kid if you got malware. Side note, when I was a kid, I had a huge fear of computer viruses, to the point where I'd have multiple nightmares of something exactly like this happening. Granted, the only malware I ever swapped spit with as a kid was some mild adware from a fake Xbox 360 controller adapter. But I was still scared of this happening. Anyways, MEMZ does a great job as an entertaining virus, especially to those who haven't dabbled in the world of fun joke malware. It's got silly Google searches, crazy visuals, and everybody's favorite thing, a destructive finish. I will argue though that Vine Memes is a better variant. It's a very similar virus, but with a ton of references to the previously mentioned Varg Skeletor and Vinesauce as a whole. It's due to those references that I don't really want to cover it. You know what? Some of these are actually really funny if you have no clue who Vinesauce is, so here's a quick list of just some of the more important payloads within the virus Vine Memes. The McAfee Man becomes your wallpaper. Your cursor turns into a flaming death sword. A Christmas tree appears on your desktop. A MIDI of a Skrillex song begins to play. A million John Cenas bounce around your screen. And to top it all off, the malware makes you use Bonzi Buddy at the end until you just can't handle it anymore. I love the more unique payloads of Vine Memes, but even I didn't understand every reference in this virus, so this isn't as generally for everyone like the original Memes is. Although, I hope the non-Vinesauce fans can agree that some of these payloads are really fucking funny without context. Please, give me your best guess as to why this cursor turns into this in the comments if you have no clue why. Memes is a great example as to why I love malware. Really, it's an art form at the end of the day, allowing people to push computers to their limits in unique and different ways. That's how these types of programs started out after all, and I'm glad that that never truly ended when viruses began to be used for nefarious purposes. Memes might not be the craziest joke malware out there, but its huge popularity brought attention to more viruses like this. I guarantee you someone got into the scene because of this program, and that's absolutely wonderful. Except for the fact that it somehow breached my computer and is now in my room. What happened to my wall? Who do I call for this? A carpenter? An IT guy? My home really needs some improving after this. Wait a second. Home improvements. Oh my god, guys, it was him all along.
Makes you feel alive.